Are we live? Is the camera on? How's my hair? Still good? This is cool. This is over the top cool. This is a 1955 5.5 Stratocaster. You guys all know this, but the Stratocaster was invented in 1954. The Telecaster came first, and that was all about telecasting, the brand new item that people were soon going to have in their homes, a television. But then 4 years later, they got into this supermodel, this double cutaway, and this, my friends, was going into space, into the stratosphere. The Stratocaster was all about space travel, and in 1955 we were obsessed with it. And a couple of years later, there's wings on cars that look like rocket ships. This was American ingenuity because it had a tummy cut. Who would have thought of that? An arm cutaway. Honestly, at the time, this was groundbreaking. 54 Strats. They're very rare. It said about 300 of them were made. They were just getting off the ground. They didn't really start production until June. There's a few prototypes that came out, but they really got a handle on it by then. There is some changes to the pickup. 54s and 55s. Look back a couple of videos and you'll see we talk about the pole pieces. The D string is higher than the G string. After 55 and 56, they switched. The G string was taller, the D string came down, but you can always tell. And this guitar is dated 2 of 55. That's February of 55. Had this been dated 3 months earlier, you might well double the price of the guitar. We've got photos of this on the website. We've got internal photos. Here's the thing. I know of this guitar. This belonged to a guy named Andy Walsh. And Andy was a customer. There's a note inside of here that talks about to his wife. And Andy is on this record. And Andy was the original owner of this guitar, and Andy was a monster player. He had a couple other guitars besides this. He was very proud of this. There's notes inside of there that tell his wife, if you decide to sell it, bring it to Willie's Guitars. Thank you, Andy. And if anything happens to it, make sure to save any parts, which he and she did. And so I got it from Andy's widow, and I sold it to a friend of mine. And he is buying real estate right now, and it's time for him to sell it. It's a featherweight single sheet body. Look at those round holes like that. That 54s and 55s will have. It's really lightweight, extremely resonant. And when we got this, the pickup had been replaced and was in the case. Andy had it replaced with something else. We took the pickup and sent it to Lindy Fralin. Lindy Fralin backed off a couple of wraps on the pickup, and it fixed it. So it didn't need to be rewound. These are all original windings on the guitar. These are original pots. It does have a 5-way switch. There is a cover in the case. This is an early center pocket tweed case with this poodle interior. It's got the original strap. It's got the Bakelite handle. It has instructions. This is copy of the instructions inside here. It's got pictures of Andy. It is a really cool guitar because you can link it all the way back to 55. That doesn't happen very much, my friends. You've been looking at these videos for a while. You might have been shopping here for 35 years. And you know, guitars with this sort of provenance don't come up. And the following is a brief description, says Fender, of the built-in tremolo and the adjustments that can be made if necessary. This built-in tremolo was mind-blowing. Like, what, the bridge moves? This was technology. This was the iPhone of its day. Removing the cover plate from the bottom of the guitar will expose 5 accurately engineered and tested tension springs attached to the tremolo block with the opposite end of the strings attached to a bracket. Sound familiar? Yeah, it's also common now. I mean, there's Squires that are set up like that, but in this day, this was Fender's finest hour. I won't go into this whole thing, but it's fascinating reading where they're trying to tell you in the simplest of terms what the heck is going on here? Now, this guitar has really nice, even output. Here's the bridge. Here's 2. Middle. Here's the next 2 together. And the neck pickup. 54 and 55 Strat pickups sound different. We have a 54 reissue, a master built in here, and they did really make a great attempt at getting the pickups. The diameter is a little smaller on these pickups. The tone is different. The magnetic material is different, and then of course these pull pieces, and you can always tell a 54 55 pickup. I cued you in on that on the previous thing. You can see from the back that it's in really good shape. It's gorgeous ash wood body. It is a 4-digit serial number on it. And I don't know if the camera can catch it, but it's never been monkeyed with. Andy bought this new. He loved it. He knew it was new technology. Don't touch it. Don't even look at it. I stay away from my guitar. No, Fenders were utility. If you were a playing guy, if you were out playing, these were really great utility guitars. They probably made, like I said, 354s. This is February 55. And there's probably 600-700 of these before the production really started expanding. They were still making the Esquire, the Telecaster, lap steels. They had not yet invented the Jazzmaster or the Music Master. That all came later. But this double cutaway design, this, my friends, is the first double cutaway guitar and a piece of American history. I'm playing through a 50s tweed Fender Harvard, which is set on like 2 or 3. It's hard to even imagine what came after this. Buddy Holly, Jimi Hendrix, all the other cats that came along and played this model. This is all a guy needs. And in the world of collectibles, this is blue chip. There's Blackguard Telecasters, which are a few years. There's the Burst, which is 58, 59, 60. There is the Stratocaster, which its first years in 54 and 55 are the rarest and the most highly coveted. This goes beyond just a musical instrument, although it's durable art. It goes beyond just a musical instrument. This is a piece of Americana, a piece of American history, a piece of rock history, music history, country history, and we are just so excited. You can tell from my voice, we're really excited. Lots of provenance. Last thing I'm going to say, if you're really into Strats, really into collecting, start getting your library together. This book from A.R. Duchessoir, simply The Fender Stratocaster, is the definitive guide, and they're going out of print. And this, if he says it's true, it's true. This is one of the few books I can say, all the Duchessoir books, A.R. Duchessoir, yeah, that he is a European that wrote the most definitive books, collected information like nobody else. And on that note, I'm going to let you go, but call us and check this out on the website while you can.